Hi, Dana here. Welcome to Sew Learn Create. I'm glad you joined us today. And if you like what you see, be sure you click that subscribe button and the bell notification. We also have a Patreon page with multiple tiers where you can support us in that way. And I have an Etsy shop with lots of sewing kits and other items. For today's project, I like to do things that are practical, and sometimes for the men in my life, it's hard to find something that kind of suits what they do. Today's project is a handyman cuff. And it's got a magnet where you can put your nails or your screws. It fits on your wrist, Velcros, and then it keeps your screws handy or your nails handy when you're doing a handyman project. So let's get started. For today's project, the handyman cuff, you're going to need the following supplies. You're going to need 2 pieces of fabric that are 3 inches wide by 10.5 inches long, one for your front and one for your lining. And then you'll need a piece of batting that is the same size, 3 inches by 10.5. And I'll put all the sizes in the description. You'll also need a 1.5 inch piece of Velcro with both sides. Remember, Velcro has 2 sides to it. And you will need a magnet. And I get my magnets at Walmart. And you need a level 3 magnet. That's the strong, extra strength magnet, because you're holding hardware basically on most of these or sewing pins, but you want something that's going to hold them in place so when you move your hand around they don't fall off. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our batting and we're going to lay it down. Then we're going to take our lining fabric and we're going to lay it face up. Mine is a solid, so there's really not a right or wrong side, but if I was using this as my lining, it would be face up. Then I'm going to take my top fabric and put it face down on top. And I'm going to clip that all together. And we're going to leave an opening on the side, and we need to leave that opening about 1.5 inches wide, because we need it big enough to slide our magnet into. So I'm going to find the center, and I'm just going to kind of press it with my fingers to find that center. So there's my center, and I want that opening to be kind of right around that center mark. And I'm going to use my red and green clip. So I'm going to put my red here where I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to come down here about 1.5 inches and leave that opening. Let me open these magnets so we can get out. And we can kind of make sure that that opening is big enough. And I think it needs to be just a little bit bigger. So you just want to make sure that you can slide that magnet in somewhere in that center of your cuff. So we're going to go to the machine. We're going to start here at our green, go all the way around, and stop at our red. So let's go to the machine. We're going to start here at our green clip and go all the way and stop at the red. So I'm going to put this underneath my presser foot, and we're using the full width of our presser foot as our seam allowance. And when I get to the corner, I'm going to leave my needle down, lift my presser foot, rotate my project, and keep going. Then we're back to our red clip, so I'm going to take that off, put my finger there to remind me to stop right there, and I'm going to back stitch. Now we'll go back to the mat for the next step. When I stitch something all the way around, before I clip my corners, I like to turn it over and just make sure I got all my pieces caught, and that looks pretty good. Now we're going to take and we're going to clip our corners diagonally, and we don't want to cut our stitching, so we're just going to clip them, and my stitching is right there, and you can see I left a little bit of space. And you want to do that on all 4 corners to reduce your bulk so that those corners turn out a little nicer. Again, you don't want to cut your stitching. So then I'm going to find my opening, and I want to turn this between my two fabric pieces so my batting will be on the inside. I'm just going to turn it right side out. And I'm going to use my chopstick to push out my corners and get it all turned nicely. And those corners, if you just kind of wiggle that chopstick in the corners, then it'll get them a little more crisp. Because you're still dealing, even cutting that fabric, you're still dealing with a fair amount of bulk down there. There we go. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to press this with the iron, and I want to make sure that my two fabrics and my batting turn in so that when I top stitch this closed, that it'll close nicely and be a finished edge. So I'm going to press it. Then I'm going to fold it in half, and because my lining fabric is lighter, I'm going to press on that side, and I'm going to press to find the center. That's what I'm trying to find, is that center of my piece. So there you can see is my center, and here's my opening. And I want to take and I want to measure 1 inch on either side of that center line. And I'm going to draw a line. So come up here, my center is right here. There we go. And I'm going to draw that line because I'm going to stitch on it so I can see it. And I'm doing this on my lining fabric, so you won't see that on the right side of the cuff when you finish it. And what we're creating is we're creating a pocket for our magnet to sit in so that it doesn't slide to the ends. So we'll go back to the machine and we will stitch these lines first, and then we'll top stitch all the way around and add we'll insert our magnet, and then we'll top stitch, and then we'll add our Velcro. So let's go back to the machine. Now we're going to stitch straight down those lines, and I'm going to start just on the inside of that edge because we're going to stitch and we're going to turn around and go backwards. So I'm going to stitch this a couple of times to make it secure. I'm going all the way across, stitching directly on that line. Then I'm going to lift my presser foot, turn it back around, and go all the way off the edge and back stitch this time. And I'm going right back over that seam that I just put in. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to start just inside the edge. And the reason for that is so that the needle doesn't, when you start off the edge with all that bulk, sometimes it binds your needle up and it doesn't work as well. To the end, turn it around, and going right back over that seam that I just put in. Going off the edge and back stitching. And I did add a clip to kind of make sure that these didn't flip out on me when I stitched that together. Now I can take and open up and put my magnet in place. And I want my magnet so that it is between the batting and my top layer. So I don't want the batting on top of my magnet because then it wouldn't grab my nails and screws as well. So then you're going to push your magnet all the way to one side, because I'm going to start on the side where my opening is. And then when we come back around to this side, we'll have to push it out of the way so it doesn't catch. And this time we're doing a top stitch. So I'm starting just above my opening, and I'm going to use the inside edge of my foot as my guide, so it's a real narrow seam allowance. Whoops, you need to put your presser foot down. Again, when you get to those corners, you leave your needle down, lift and turn, and keep going. And you do have quite a bit of bulk right here in the corner with all that batting, so just kind of go slow and your machine should do fine. Now I'm coming back to where this magnet is, so I'm going to push it out of the way over on this side so it's not in the way of my foot. And when I come back to this stitching, I'm going to cross it just a little bit and back stitch to secure it all in place. Then the last thing we have to do is add our Velcro. And your Velcro has two sides, and it doesn't really matter which side you put where. But one piece of Velcro, I like to put it on my wrist so I can kind of test it and see. One piece of Velcro goes on the lining side, and the other piece goes on your front. So I'm going to do this one first, and I'm just going to put a clip, kind of hold it in place. And then the other one, because it wraps, the other one has to go on our top fabric. And I like to just kind of make sure that they line up well. And I'm going to put a clip there. And we're going to start with our fuzzy side, our soft side. And when you sew Velcro, Velcro has a little flat edge on both pieces. And that's where you want to try to stitch. It's not as big a deal on the soft side because the thread doesn't catch, but on the rough side, it does. So when we get there, I'll show you how I do that. And I never start in the corner. I always start just off my corner to stitch. And again, when I get back to my stitching, I'm going to cross it and back stitch. So here's the rough part of my Velcro, and then this little side edge is flat and there's no rough part, and that's where I want to try to stitch, is on that little side piece. Again, I'm not starting right in the corner, I'm starting just past the corner. Thread tails curled under. There we go. Now they're out of the way. Then when you come across, you're going to go across that rough part. So you just need to go kind of slow, making sure that your stitches are going all the way through. And now our Velcro is all attached. Let me get all the threads cut. And our project is complete. And we will hold our screws or nails or pins. A lot of people make these for sewing pins. And there it is done. If you are making it for someone who has a bigger wrist than what I have, the 10.5 inch, then you would need to measure their wrist and lengthen the 10.5 inch. The 3 inch wide would work, but you may need to make it just a little bit longer. I hope you liked today's project, the Handyman Cuff, and see you in the next one.